very sorry for this.
It's completely fine, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you.
So, shall we start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please, please, please.
Okay. So, good evening, respected members of Research Foundation of India, distinguished schedule expert Dr. Shesht Chabra, sir, and esteemed participants. It is my privilege to extend a cordial welcome to each of you on behalf of RFI as we embark on day second of the Faculty Development Program and the training program on advanced tools and techniques for research methodology. On behalf of Research Foundation of India, I extend a warm welcome to each of you. Today, on the second day, our focus turns to the complex concepts of research design and sampling. We have the privilege of introducing Dr. Shesh Chabra sir, our esteemed expert for this session. His esteemed presence elevates our discourse and we are privileged to have him. Together, we embark on this educational journey made possible through the collaborative efforts of RFI, BPIT, and RFI-CARE. Furthermore, we extend a heartfelt appreciation for the generous sponsorship provided by GHRF, Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc., whose support has made this initiative possible. Now, please allow me to introduce Dr. Shesh Chabra sir, a shining figure in the field of education. With more than 20 years of teaching experience, he brings a profound depth of knowledge and understanding to our discussions. His academic voyage, culminating in a PhD in labor welfare, is a testament to his unwavering commitment to scholarship and inquiry. Presently, he holds the position of Associate Professor at Delhi College Business School, Indore, where his impact transcends the boundaries of academia. As an accomplished author and reviewer, his work resonates on both national and international stages, shaping conversations and instigating meaningful transformations. His affiliations with reputable journals and editorial boards underscore his dedication to excellence. Furthermore, his role as a mentor and coordinator underscores his enthusiasm for fostering entrepreneurship and nurturing academic development. Beyond his scholarly pursuits, his involvement in various professional associations and his stellar reputation as a session chair and facilitator further highlight his outstanding leadership and expertise. His influence extends far beyond the classroom, earning accolades from esteemed institutions and organizations such as Rotary Club, Amity Business School, and EMG SSM Trust. He embodies the principles of innovation and excellence, inspiring both educators and learners. With his guidance, let us begin this enlightening journey, enriched by his wisdom and expertise. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. Thank you for your kind words. Once again, I'm extremely sorry to keep you all waiting. Believe me, that was not, that was not deliberated types. That incidentally happened. I'm really very sorry for this. uh, you know, I extend heartiest welcome and good evening to all my respected colleagues, members from my RFI family, Saurabh Jain sir, Ajay Jain sir, Ashok sir, all members of my RFI family. A very good evening to Neha ma'am also. She has been always kind enough to conduct the session. So that's so great. And especially I welcome all my fellow colleagues from I believe from all different parts of this country. So today what I would be doing, I would not be talking I would be definitely talking research design and sampling. I would be sharing more as my more of my experience as researcher, as a reviewer, and as a PhD guide. That the role of my PhD guide. So all this put together, I would be more of sharing my experiences. So I would be putting up some questions. So please, you can raise your hand like this if you have any question, or you can ask me questions. So whenever you want to interact, please raise your hand. I would understand that you want to say something. Uh, so you can always sound an alarm to me by raising a hand. Okay, that yes, you are interested in asking a question. Okay. Now, having said this, I also encourage you to. I believe some of you would be PhD scholars. Yes. Am I? So there are some PhD scholars in the group. Okay. Tina Bajaj ma'am is there. Shivami ma'am is there.
Yes,
Shubhri
sir.
Kaur, yes. Okay. Anup sir said yes. Great. Great. Sunita Pandey ma'am said yes. Okay. So great. Okay. Rakesh Rana sir, Vijaya Kumari Reddy ji, then Vikram Bahadur sir. Great. 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 Vijay Kumar sir. So great. So I would be talking to many of you in terms of okay, Binny Johnson. So I would be talking many of you in terms of being a PhD scholar as well. So with with no further delay, let me please allow me to start the session, and that is how we begin with this idea. Uh, I hope my screen is visible to you. You can see the presentation which has been put on. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. Great. Okay, so before we begin or we dive into the subject, let me give you a broad framework or a broad understanding. Okay, let me give you a broad understanding. While you are on to certain research, okay, always understand one thing that you need to bring about. I would say that have you drawn up your mental map? Okay, all the PhD scholars who are here. Uh, how are you placed in your PhD? Like, say, you are just starting it, you are already enrolled with it, your say your your synopsis is submitted. At which stage, generally, if you can, quickly tell me at which stage of PhD are you in?
We are just joined the PhD session.
Okay, just join the PhD.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, let coursework done. Okay, enrolled in June session. That's great. Okay, great, great. Submitted two reports. Oh, that's great. Almost, you are very close to submission. Great, 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 great. So, so you want to start your PhD. That is also great. So, whether you want to write a research paper, you want to do your PhD, the first idea is that decide a by and large subject. And when I say by and large subject, I do not mean neat topic. Okay. My learned colleagues would have already talked about how to decide on a topic. I'm not going to revisit. Okay. Okay. Hima ma'am has just registered for PhD. Great. So I'm not going to revisit that topic as to how to finalize your topic. I'm not doing that. So whether in a research paper or in a PhD thesis, start with your large interest first. Okay, say if you don't mind, can someone of you give me a large interest area? So with that example I would continue.
Finance.
Finance, great. Human resource management, marketing, in any functional field, that may be great. Now what exactly in finance, or what exactly in HRM, or what exactly in marketing? Some let's make it more precise.
Hmm.
Say somebody saying AI. Okay, great. Sustainable
In
growth.
fi- in finance, I think uh, investment and saving or
In invest
household saving.
Okay,
Uh,
household savings. So you want to understand consumer psychology, some type of, or investor psychology, something like that.
Ji sir.
Okay, great, great. So something related to benefit, welfare, social. Okay, not an issue that you are not decided on the topic. Not an issue. My point is that start with a larger area. Okay, try and close it down to something. I'm not saying topic. Say maybe you got somebody said AI. But can you repeat the topic? It was AI in accounting, I believe. Okay. Okay, great. So how technology can help you in accounting, or mutual funds. So boil it down something to more precise terms. Okay. That what exactly are you looking in terms of mutual funds? Okay. So when you talk more in precise terms, okay. So say use of technology in journalism or something like that. Boil it down further to a something minor, try and draw dimensions of that how do you want to look into that research. Okay, you say AI in accounting, or something in society welfare, or say something in finance. Okay, what next? Draw more dimensions to it. Okay, when I say draw more dimensions to it, I don't want to understand any research proposal or any research objective by that way. No, my idea is that, have you drawn up a larger framework of it? AI in accounting means what? We want to say that how technology is used in accounting. Okay, what are the dimensions of AI that can be useful in accounting? Accounting itself is a very large thing. Okay, so try and percolate down, try and funnel it down to certain more precise areas. Okay, so maybe using previous research, maybe just Google it, AI in accounting, maybe just put it on Google. Okay, so you would understand that what can be done with, or where can I explore the possibility of technology, use of technology in a certain field. Say, for example, you talked about sustainable branding. So where can I use something that can be of a better use when I talk about sustainable branding? Okay, so what can be done with, what do I understand by sustainable branding? And what can be done when I talk about sustainable branding? Which part of sustainable branding I would like to talk? Is it from the consumer end? Is it from the production end? Is it from the branding part? Okay, that is from the marketer's end, I would like to understand. Or is it the combination of two? That means a consumer and branding, both consumer and the marketer, both I would like to understand sustainable brand. So which is that part that I would like to understand sustainable branding from? Okay. So as you would funnel down, you would get that clarity of ideas. You would get that clarity of thought process. In research, the better clear you are, I'm not again using the word topic. No. Okay, topics can be framed later on. The better clarity you have got on what exactly you want to do, maybe writing a research paper, or largely, writing your thesis before you actually enter into writing your thesis or you submit your synopsis. Try and draw larger interest area, and then try to funnel it down by asking questions and exploring dimensions. Once you explore dimensions, once you would put that thing on Google, you would find there is a great amount of data which is available. With that data, you would, once you get onto that data, you would have that clarity that this is the data that I don't, or this is the part that I don't want to see. My idea is this. Now, that is how you would explore the dimensions of your problem. Again, I take the same example, say sustainable branding. So where exactly you want to look into sustainable branding? Okay. Where exactly is that you want to look into, say, AI in accounting, or in journalism, or in finance, or in mutual funds? What exactly are you looking forward to? In in investor psychology, okay, say if you are talking about consumer psychology, then or say investor psychology, there are hundreds of research or thesis already done on consumer psychology or investor psychology. What is that? What you feel that, what is that you feel that it's still unexplored area? Okay, jump in that unexplored area. Slowly you would get that idea, or you would get that clarity in mind. Okay, and this clarity is what I call as mental map in research. Okay, this clarity would help you do better when it would actually come into your research, when it would actually, you would get down to a synopsis framing, or when you would actually get down to something which is, which would need some type of ground research work. Primary, secondary data, that all comes later on. Okay. Try and develop that clarity. If you remember, I would, I would remind you of a good English saying: if I got 4 hours to cut a tree, I would spend 2 hours in sharpening my axe. Remember that always. So the time available to you in your hand, see, if you are starting up your PhD, if you are starting up your PhD, it's always better that you have that luxury of time now, thanks to coursework. You would not only understand the research part, but you would also understand, you will also get the time to deliberate over this idea that what should I look, which dimension should I explore, okay, which is that unexplored dimension that I can actually look into. whether it may be a research or it may be a PhD type of thing. Okay, so that is what is required, that you draw a mental map of research. Am I clear on this? Any questions before I start with research design and sampling? Is this
Clear, sir.
clear to you? That
Clear,
what do
sir.
I mean by drawing a research, a mental map of research?
Clear, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So try and draw up as clarity as possible. Okay. If it is possible, okay, if it is possible, while you are submitting your synopsis, please try and understand that how can I work it from back to this time? That means, what is that I want to explore, how I'm going to explore this, and this is what is a part of research design. Okay, everything related to your research, see, before you take a leap, okay, plan your leap. That is what I want to say when it comes to a research design. Okay, so think about it, plan it, like say you have got a blueprint, okay, of the house that you're going to make. So plan that blueprint of the house. Okay? Please allow me a few seconds. Please allow me a few seconds. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. So that's what is a research design, that you are trying to draw a blueprint of it. Now, this can be three larger bases of drawing a research design. Let's cover them one by one quickly. Descriptive design. Okay, so in a descriptive research, what you do, you describe the situation. Describe the situation means you try to understand that what is possible, what is not possible, in the sense that you try and, in a descriptive form of research, you try to report things, what is already present. You want to understand that how investors, or how families. Somebody has asked me a question. Let me just cover it and then I continue with it. How we may find out that the topic that we have chosen is an unexplored one or not. Okay, Shivanji, I would answer this question as and when it would come into the flow. I would definitely answer this question for you. Okay, in a descriptive design, what you would do, you would describe the things, or you would report the things as they are placed. Like, say, for example, you want to understand that how do household people plan their saving, or which is the instrument in which they spend, how much do they say, for example, I want to see that after all this advertisement of mutual funds sahi hai, how people have actually started investing in mutual funds. Okay, does celebrity endorsement matters when it comes to mutual fund investment, say, for example, something like that. Okay, or what class of mutual funds do people so I can explore various dimensions of it. So what I'm trying to do, see, people are already investing in mutual fund, yes. Okay, people are already having an asset class, they already have a bouquet of assets, agreed, that's great. Now what you were trying to do, you are just trying to tell that this is what is there, and probably you would also try to find out that these are the reason why it is there. So that is what makes it a descriptive study. Am I clear on this? Okay, so you want to tell people that what is there. Okay, so what is existent practice. Okay, so in any in any existing practice, any pattern of, say, investment, anything like that. So you want to tell people what is that, how many people are interested in buying a sustainable brand, or how do sustainable brands perform, or maybe what can be done to make a good sustainable brand, something like that. Okay, so it can be a comparison, it can be a relationship, it can be anything. Okay, so descriptive study can be of three types. Okay, let's take them one by one quickly. Case study methods. So case study methods would largely talk about, they are more focused in nature. Say you want to study a particular organization, you want to study a particular group of individuals, okay, or say you want to do a case study on Ayushi Dikshitji, you can't see my screen. I hope everyone else is able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ayushi, please, please check your internet, or maybe some settings onto that thing. Okay. Okay. So case study design, what you can do with that is that you can focus on a specific group, specific institution, okay, or something like that. Okay. So while you are attempting a case study design, let me give you some quick precautions. One, make sure that the company that you are choosing or the group of institution that you are choosing or something like that, say I want to study employee engagement practice in a certain organization, okay, so make sure that one, that the Can you do some research, but COVID is still 2020. It has been only 4 years now. So can you look out for a preference? Like say, the platform that we are meeting in today is, I would say, pardon me if I am exaggerating it, but it's given by COVID. Okay. Before COVID, I would not interact with you on such a platform. Either you and me would have been meeting physically on some platform, and we would have been discussing this parameters in a class with a PPT on, maybe. Okay. So such type of things have been popularized by COVID. So this is what I call as a longitudinal study. That means pre and post type of studies, like say shopping preference before COVID and shopping preference after COVID. So it's always better that if you can mix that, if you can mix certain things with the time frame. Okay. So if you can combine a cross-sectional study with a time frame, if possible, I'm not saying that all topics would have that type of commonality. No. If possible, try and mix these two things. You would always do great. Okay. So if your cross-sectional study can be mixed with, say, with a time frame, that can be great. If your parameter allows you so. Okay. Say that's what I said. If your parameters talk about this, say if you can talk about a pre and post COVID type of thing. So nothing good than that. What was then in pre-COVID and how it has changed in post-COVID. People talk about new normals. So is this the new normal? Okay. So what has changed in this new normal? Something like that. Okay. So you try and look into that thing with cross-sectional if you can mix longitudinal things. Okay. And then you have got qualitative. See, all things cannot be put on.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am, please.
So that means you want to say कि if there is a cross-sectional point is there in your research, then it will be more effective.
Yeah. It would be more effective if you can have, if you're provided, Jyoti ma'am, please understand this thing, provided your research objectives permit you to do so.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
objective part.
If your research objective is not connected to any time-based studies, please don't try to introduce it. Okay. It can be simply cross-sectional, as simple as this, that there is a comparison between, say investment pattern of male and female, as simple as this. Okay. But if you can talk about this idea that how male and female differ on their investments, you know pre and post COVID type.
Getting your point. Getting your point. So like in that way, if you are saying we can like, I just planning to have a comparison of the way a CA and accountant do their work earlier as compared to now with the help of AI we are able to do up.
Absolutely.
So it can be a good point to
Absolutely,
be
that can be a good point for longitudinal study, ma'am.
yes.
You can always take the a time frame that before that's what I'm saying, Jyoti ma'am. That pre-COVID, post-COVID type of thing. COVID has changed much of our understanding of technology.
Right, that will have more effect on the on the point to be clear. Right, got your point. Thank you.
Okay. So my point was that not everything cannot be captured in questionnaire. Most of the scholars are perturbed by this point, that how should I make a questionnaire? What length the questionnaire should be like. Okay, please understand this. Don't go after the length of the questionnaire. No. Try and see that how many objectives have you got. For each objective, how many questions are you trying to fix? Okay. Say you should have that clarity that say question number from 1 to 6 are from my objective 1, from this to this for objective number 2, something like that. And when you are asking the questionnaire, it's my humble advice to you that ask 1 or 2 additional questions. I would tell you the purpose of it. So, but the point is that if you keep asking all such questions, you would have many questions in the mind. Because in research, please understand this thing. A what will be followed by why. Always remember this. If you can please note this down, it would be always helpful for you. A what will be always followed by why. What are the new practices in accounting, Jyoti ma'am? And why are these practices? So if you would tell me that, okay, sir, these are the list of new practices, that are happening in the accounting world, then the next question I would be interested in asking is why. Why is this happening? Why? What has caused this change? Okay. So all whats are followed by a why. So your research should be focused on both this aspect and especially on this why. Because out of a research, whether you are writing a research paper or PhD, this why becomes most important thing. Now, if you wanna ask whys, then the length of the questionnaire would be so long. Hence, at times it is always preferable that some part of it or one part of it, I will give you examples, can be put on, say, qualitative. Say, for example, I from the all consumer-based studies, this is my idea only. Okay, this is my only advice. Largely all consumer-based studies, because that's you would be talking to say 500, 600, 700 type of people. You cannot interview 500, 600 odd people. No. So all consumer-based studies or retail investors or something like that studies, which involves a number, should be largely based on questioning. And then I have given you an idea. My colleagues would be talking to you in later their part that how questionnaire should be designed. But I'm giving you an idea that please be structured on this idea that question number this to this is for my objective this. Okay. You should have that precise clarity on idea. And having said that, see, look on to the other part. See, you are talking about from the marketer side. You want to know from marketer that how a marketer, or why should a marketer be interested in creating a sustainable brand? Or you want to interview marketers which have created a sustainable brand. You want to understand from them sustainable branding and things like that. It's always better you go and interview them. Maybe a semi-structured interview. Go and interview them. Okay. So during that interaction of half an hour or 40, 45 minutes or 1 hour, you would understand many things better. Okay. And you would have many things to write down. This is point number one. Point number two, why you should look forward to a qualitative study. Uh, Something that cannot be, you don't feel that would be exclusively captured in a questionnaire. Okay. One of my colleagues, she did her PhD on young mothers, the consumption pattern of young mothers. Okay. And just after they have given a birth, so something like that. So she interviewed around she interviewed females, and each interview would last for an hour or two. Okay, at least for an hour, at least for an hour. So that's what I'm saying. You have to decide on this thing that the objectives actually need such type of a study. Then go for it. The only hiccup in that thing is that it's a time-consuming process. Okay? And please understand this thing that you're not trying to get biased at any point of time. Okay, no biasness, please. Because when you are trying to listen to someone, listen to them freely. Okay, create no biasness. See, if you are trying to understand youngsters, okay, or you want to understand any question from youngsters or how do youngsters think, and if you want to interview them, don't be biased when they answer things to you. Okay, because then that you may some people, some of us may not like the way they answer us. Okay, is this the way you should? I'm not talking about the tone of their answer, I'm talking about the content of their answer. Don't be biased on that. Okay, any questions before I move to the next research design or
Yeah,
descriptive
sir.
design?
Can I?
Yeah, Jyoti ma'am, please go ahead, please go ahead.
First question is this: like every objective should have their questionnaires, right?
To the extent, ma'am, that if it is not a purely theoretical objective, say for example, you want to talk about accounting standards,
Right,
okay, or auditing
right,
standards or accounting practices, so
right,
that
sir.
which is prevalent in India, say for example.
Right,
So that was a purely theoretical objective. Say you are presenting a critical analysis of accounting standards or accounting principles or accounting practices in India. That's purely a
right.
theoretical objective. Now,
Hmm.
then whenever you're, so that would be a theoretical objective. The rest of the for rest of the questions, now decide that one, who is going to be my respondent. Two, how I am going to collect that data. Okay.
Hmm,
So
hmm,
based
hmm,
on these two questions,
hmm.
you would largely pick up the research design, ma'am.
Mhm. I'm getting confused once again. I'm repeating one more
Please,
question.
please go ahead, ma'am.
Like I have four objectives in my mind, right?
Okay.
With every objective, there should be six questions which should be prepared for like collecting the data. Is it like that? when I'm making a questionnaire,
Hmm.
should I have to keep my mind the objective? What is my objective, right?
Hmm.
On the basis of that objective only, I have to prepare my questionnaire.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Now the question is, if one objective is there, so on the basis of one objective, how many questions should be there? Is there
Great,
any
great, great, great,
criteria?
great. That's what I said, ma'am. This is
Huh.
a common confusion with many of many of young researchers.
Hmm.
The simplest answer to this is that when you feel that all the dimensions of these objectives are explored, okay,
Right.
say, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. You want to say that okay, how say COVID has changed, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
the use of technology in accounting. Say, for example, okay, agreed, ma'am. Say, for example, this is one of your objectives. Can I go ahead with this example?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, the question would be that you should be asking questions pre-COVID. Okay, that what was your practices pre-COVID? Now you would be asking post-COVID. Agreed? These two questions combined would give you an answer about how COVID has changed the understanding of technology in accounting. Am I right?
Getting your point, sir. Got it.
Okay, that's how you have to.
So that means there is no criteria. That's for
No,
every
absolutely
objective. There
not.
should
Not
be
no no
four,
no
five,
criteria,
six
ma'am.
questions. Nothing is
No,
there.
no, no, nothing.
That's a misconception towards that we
No,
should prepare four questions, five
but to
questions.
best of my understanding, ma'am, whatever
Huh.
little understanding of research I have got, I don't feel
Huh.
that there is any fixed number of questions that you should be asking
Right.
every to
Agree.
any objective. If
Agree.
all dimensions of the objectives are answered, maybe in 2 questions, maybe in 10
Or
questions,
maybe in four
doesn't
question, or
matter then.
maybe in one question. Right.
Okay.
Right. What's your point?
Good evening, sir. May I ask a question?
Yes. Please go ahead, sir.
So, this is Nehal Rehan. Sir, I wanted to ask a question about exploratory research and qualitative research, which is not as per se, we are only exploring the phenomena there, right? So the question is that the person who is comprehending or conducting the research of a qualitative design. So when I am going on to understanding a certain concept which I do not understand and know nothing about, what I feel is when I to create a questionnaire for my interviews and much more than that. When I will move on to the research and then I will keep moving to the next participant or next interviewee, I feel the questionnaire that I already had is changeable based on what responses I am getting already from the participants. How much is this viable in the qualitative research? Am I
Okay.
supposed to change those design elements, the questions, the information that I'm acquiring from the participants per se?
Okay. Sure. Sarika Tyagi ma'am has also raised hand. You have also question, ma'am. Sarika Tyagi ma'am, you have raised your hand. Do you also want to ask some question or you want to comment on something, please?
So my question is,
Hmm.
what should be the means exact scale for preparing the questionnaire?
Okay, great. Uh, so, answering back, Nihal Sab, Rehan Sab, your question. See, what happens that whenever before you actually start or you jump into your study, please make sure that you have done enough pilot for that. Okay, you have understood the problems from all dimensions. And how do you understand that somebody asked me a question in the I can see that how do I know that whether this area has explored or not? Okay, only research would tell you that whether this area has explored to the extent that you want to, and what are the gaps which are available on that research there, so that you can explore some new dimensions onto that. Coming back to your thing that Nehal sir, one thing. See, there is a law of inertia of large numbers. Okay, let me answer this question simply. In research, if you have got any confusion, okay, or if you are not convinced with the research, what should you do?
So we keep
Simplest
on,
answer is, see, let me put
we
that
keep
question.
moving and
Let me put that question simply, Nihalji.
it's a,
If you are taking a medicine, okay, and if you're not getting cured, your disease is not getting cured, what can you do? There are two possible ways. One, increase the dose. Okay. Two, change the medicine. Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's the same which happens in research also. First thing, always try and increase the dose. That means increase the samples. Okay. So if you ask more people, then you would be fairly clear which subject should I choose after my 10th, which college should I go in my graduation, which college should I go in my post graduation. Simple answers like this. Okay. They are all research based questions. Agreed? Simple questions like this. So if you are confused, increase the sample. The first thing. Two, remember this thing that when you are, if you conduct a some basic pilot type of thing, go and ask some people, do some basic pilot thinking. You would understand that what what I should be talking about. Okay, is this the way I should be? See, Neil sir, understand one thing. If you're talking about your PhD, nothing is finalized or freezed until and unless your synopsis is approved. Before your RAC, before your synopsis is approved, nothing is finalized in research. So utilize this time to figure out that. That's what I said in starting point also. If I've got 4 hours to cut a tree, spend 2 hours in sharpening this axe. And that's what I mean. Okay. Answer back your question, Sarika ma'am. Though I'm not talking about questionnaire design. My colleague would talk about questionnaire design. Sarika ma'am, please understand this thing, that based on the type of question, it's always preferable that you would put your data on a scaled thing rather than a yes no type of thing, because yes no type of things would only largely result into maybe a pie chart type of analysis. Okay, these are all descriptive analysis, yes no question. Largely try and put it on a scale. That would be always preferable. Sarika ma'am, I would strongly suggest you, I believe a day or two after, you would have a session on questionnaire design. Probably I would save this question for that period. Okay, I'm not getting asked to now on a questionnaire design method. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. See, if if you feel that in the research certain things are yet not clear or certain dimensions are yet not explored, okay, or that research field is quite novice, that is quite new, look out for exploratory design. Okay, like say, still many phenomena regarding COVID are not clear. You would be reading, if you are bit interested in science or any such background, you would be reading many such news is coming in from COVID still. Okay, that how things are happening, how things are not happening. So research is still on. So that's an exploration. So how things would improve, how things would not improve, what would be the lasting impact of COVID, still people are unclear. There is still some question marks which need to be explored. So in an exploratory research, the simplest criteria is this. You have got clarity on certain idea, but you are still to be, you still have to confirm on some other idea. That is what would give you an idea onto exploratory research. Okay. So the only advantage is that, the disadvantage of it is that, and I would not use that as a disadvantage. The limitation is that, and this is what is my advice to you also, Nehal sir, that when it is fog, what you do, how you drive the vehicle, you drive it slow. Okay. So unless and until you are, you don't clear the fog. Okay. It can be in our brains also. So unless and until I have cleared the brain fog, try and go slow. Okay, in your research, don't try to jump on conclusion, don't try to finalize things, try and drive little slow so that you can actually see the way around. Okay, and in research, don't try to look too far onto it. Okay, so that you would always get understanding of that. Somebody has raised the hand. Please, if you can, if you want to question something.
Actually, sir, what is the difference between exploratory and a descriptive research design?
That's great. In nutshell, sir, when you are just trying to describe what is already there, okay, how many of students did well in, say, 11th and 12th in commerce, say, for example, what was the average score of student? These are all descriptive questions. Okay,
sir.
What has been the impact? Say you might have taught at during COVID, sir. Yes. So you might have taken classes during the COVID also. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How have those students? How has the COVID batch fared well? Okay. So that still may be a part of exploration.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that is how you can describe a difference between. See, descriptive means which is already existing. You are just trying to describe it. In an
Okay, sir.
exploratory, you are trying. You're not very clear about the phenomena. You are just you are going ahead to explore those ideas.
Okay, sir.
There is some guideline, but there is not enough guideline. That is how you need to do between a descriptive and a thing. Let me also
Okay.
give you one idea. Let me also give you one idea. Most of the social sciences research, including management, commerce, economics, whatever it is, are largely based on descriptive ideas. Largely, okay. Largely, they are based on descriptive ideas.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Jyoti ma'am, you raised your hand. Okay. So let me quickly go through it. You can, always pick up a test group and a control group to understand that what is the difference. Say you want to understand that there is a difference between people who are aptly trained in investment, okay, or there is a difference between, for example, Vijay sir, are you there still? Vijay Kumar
Yes.
ji.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am.
Okay, you are there. So you might have talked. You want to understand that does the background or your education impacts on say investment pattern. Say for example.
Yes, sir.
So that means you are trying to pick up that okay, all people who are financial, who have got an education in finance, and those people who have got they are not educated, say in finance.
Ji, sir.
That means, in simple term, if you have not done a CA, CFA, or CS, or say
Yes, sir.
MCOM
Yes,
or
sir.
MBA finance, you put them on in one class that they are finance educated. Then
Ji,
you
sir.
have got a non-finance educated.
Ji,
Okay,
sir.
so that's how you can create some type of an. So you are trying to test this thing that to extent to which the financial understanding or financial education helps you make a better investment decision. I hope you got my question. Your
Ji, sir.
objective is to
Ji, sir.
understand
Ji.
that
Ji.
that how finance education can help you differentiate between uh,
Investment decision and
investment
non-investment.
decisions. Okay,
Ji, sir. Ji.
so
Ji,
that
sir.
is where an experimental design would come in.
Okay, sir.
Okay, because test group would have this, control group won't have this, something like that. Okay, so such things can be done through an experimental design if your questions are based on that, or you may do a pre-post type of analysis, that what happened say before training, what happened post training, if you are coming from HR. Okay, so that happens. Say for example, I launched a new brand, then I advertise it through say social media. So does my sales increase? So what was my sales pre advertisement? What is my sales post advertisements? Okay, the variable introduced in an experimental research, there is a variable which is introduced. So that can be marketing, that can be finance education, that can be any variable based on your objective. Okay.
Ji, sir.
Okay, so I hope these ideas are clear to you.
बिल्कुल sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you sir, thank you. So my advice to you is that try and follow a combination of design. Combination of design means, Janvi ma'am, you have raised your hand. Yes, please go ahead and ask me.
So, can you tell me the difference between longitudinal research and experimental research? Because
Ma'am, please
now
hold
they
on
have
for
the
one
time
second.
scenarios.
Janvi ma'am, please hold on for 1 second. Janvi ma'am, I'm really sorry, interrupted by a technology. Please go ahead, Janvi ma'am.
Yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask, can you tell me the difference
The
between
difference
the
between
experimental
longitudinal
design
and
and
experimental.
the
Yes?
longitudinal? Yes, because they are more or less talking about the time scenarios only.
No, no,
Like
no, no,
what
no,
was the
no, no,
pre
no.
and post.
No. I agreed, ma'am. Agreed. Usually, people understand. See, Janvi ma'am, what happens in an experimental design? Say you are introducing a variable. That variable may not be exactly time as a component. Say, for example, some people were some people were weak in English. Okay, now they were given English training. Now, has the English improved after these English classes? I give another example. I believe you are teaching somewhere, Janvi ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Great. So in your institution, means if you don't mind me answering, it is engineering, management. Which background do you teach?
Commerce background and management also.
That's great, ma'am. So I believe you might be teaching at some level at MBA.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, and why I'm asking this, ma'am, because mostly in MBA colleges, there is a placement training which is given to the students. Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, you would be interested, or management would be interested in knowing that how much is this placement training impacting or has got a positive impact on the placement of the students. That means, if are the students actually getting placed because of this placement training? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, that is where an experimental design will come. That you are introducing one variable, that is training and placement, or placement training. Okay, that our students are, you know, trained in placements. So that is where the the training part comes in for the placement. So that is what is an experimental design. In a longitudinal design, time is an understanding. That means, like I said, that is pre-COVID, post-COVID type of things. How have this variable changed based on the time? Okay, like say you want to study some person, say for uh, uh, reading habits. Say I give you a simple example. This generation does not have a reading habit in general. Am I right on this? They don't even read the large, big WhatsApp message which says more, click here to read more. Okay, or read more types. They don't even read that. Now you want to understand that people who are in job, have they developed a reading habit? So you are studying them right from the days of their being a student, and then you trace them, say 5 years, 6 years later, and try and understand that how many of them have developed a reading habit. Okay, so that's how, say for example, I was talking about pre and post COVID. You can pick up any such examples. Many businesses have gone online during COVID. Many, your local grocery store might have started using WhatsApp orders. Do they still continue using a WhatsApp order, ma'am? Janvi ma'am, am I audible to you?
Could not get you.
See, many of the grocery stores people during the COVID have started using WhatsApp to take orders. That you can order them on WhatsApp, the quantity and things. Somebody would go and drop it at your doorstep. Agreed? This was a very
Yes, sir.
general practice
Yes.
in COVID. Agreed, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
They might have followed it to say first or second unlock period. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Are they still continuing with this?
No, sir. Not still prevalent, but not so much as it was at the
Okay.
time of
So
lockdown.
that is what is a longitudinal study. Because you're using
Okay.
your
Means
understanding.
we are actually in a longitudinal study. We are studying a scenario before happening of a situation and after happening of that
Ma'am,
situation. Fine.
you,
But
you
in
are,
case of
ma'am, in a longitudinal study,
experimental
time
research,
is the important idea. In an experimental
yes.
study, variables are the important idea, because you want to understand the
Okay.
impact of the variable which has been introduced. That's
Okay.
how you need
Means
to understand the difference between
something like,
longitudinal and other things. Yes, ma'am?
okay, variables are being placed, and then you understand after introducing something, what was their mindset before having that extra variable into picture, and now how are they after being experimented? After I've experimented them with a variable, fine.
Great, agreed. Okay. Now,
Yes.
I give you
Okay.
another
Okay, sir.
simplest example, Janvi ma'am. You might have seen, and I'm sorry using the brand name Dove. They say
Yes,
that on
sir.
one face they applied some other soap, on other face they applied Dove. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And have you seen that ad? That is an experimental study.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's the
Okay.
simplest way to remember an experimental study.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Shivami ma'am, you
Thank you
want to
so
ask
much.
me something? Thank you, Janvi ma'am. Shivami ma'am, you want to ask me something, I believe. In an HR thing, you use a pre-post design when it comes to training.
Am I clearly audible, sir?
I'm sorry, Shivami sir. Please go ahead and ask me.
Okay, sir. I hereby convey my greetings to you. My doubt is what are the possibilities, feasibilities, merits, and demerits of combining or utilizing two or more study methodologies simultaneously in our research work? If
Great,
our research objectives or goals permit, especially in our Indian conditions, I
great,
humbly
great.
request you to provide me with an explanation that is largely related to your very own experience in the research field, sir.
Okay, great, Shivamani sir. Now, my idea is very simple. When I say mixed design, I want to understand, or I want to suggest you this thing, that to the extent possible, please try and mix a qualitative design with a quantitative design. Let me explain this thing to you.
Okay,
I
sir.
believe I have given this idea to you because what happens that you would have say, and again I would take reference from Jyoti ma'am also. Just
Mhm.
certain ideas may be based on